everybody, and welcome to Deck Check, our Deck Tech series. With me today is Tony. He is a blue-green Infect player. So, can you tell me about the blue-green Infect deck?
It's a type of aggressive, almost mid-range style semi-combo deck that allows for fast kills or possibly grindy games with plentiful of pump spells and protection spells.
Well, potentially, how fast can this deck win?
The deck has potential for turn 2 kill, and it's not as inconsistent as it sounds.
Oh, as it sounds?
Yes.
Well, how exactly does it get these kills?
A common turn 2 kill would be a Glistener Elf into 3 pump spells, such as Mutagenic Growth and 2 Mites, or a Mite and a Groundswell plus a Mutagenic Growth.
Oh, okay. So, what Infect creatures are you running?
I'm running a 4 of Glistener Elf, 4 of Blighted Agent, 4 Inkmoth Nexuses, and a 1 of Viridian Corruptor for specific matchups that I was anticipating during Grand Prix LA.
So, what is Viridian Corruptor?
Viridian Corruptor is a 3-drop, 2 green, and a colorless. It is a 2/2 that when it enters the battlefield, it destroys target artifact.
So what was this brought in against?
This was brought in for the anticipation of Spellskites in the main board right now. I was worried about Collected Company decks running Spellskite and possibly blowing me out with instant speed Spellskite to prevent me from going off.
That is a common occurrence. I noticed that a lot at GPLA.
Yeah.
But you yourself won 2 Spellskites in the main, is that right?
I did. I ran 2 Spellskites. A lot of Infect decks right now currently aren't running any Spellskites in the main and just 1 or 2 in the side. Spellskite's such a good card defensively and offensively, as it can prevent plentiful amount of spells from just preventing you from doing anything, as it can also take on other decks very aggressively, such as the Infect Mirror match, Burn matchups, or Boggles matchups, so it allows you to just take advantage of matches.
Yeah, which is why you were scared of seeing an opposing Spellskite, because it could take your
Exactly.
spells.
I was worried about that completely just blowing me out.
So you also have a Dismember in the main.
Dismember is also another card that's very good against Spellskite. I would have taken other varieties of cards. However, this also helps me against the Abzan Company matchups that run Malira, as I did not want to be, again, blown out instant speed from Malira being accompanied in.
And it also can take care of that opposing Spellskite.
Yes, can also take care of the opposing Spellskite efficiently.
And you also have Dispel in the main.
The one of Dispel was it's a way of stopping anything from Court of Calling to Collected Company, as it can also stop a removal spell from just blowing me out.
That seems very good on the hedge to protect your creatures and win in the short term and long term of the game.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the sideboard. What do you have here as your sideboard?
I run an additional Dismember, which is, again, it helps against Spellskite matchups and Malira matchups. I run 3 of Nature's Flames. Similar reasoning, it stops Spellskite, and it's also very, very mana efficient against Affinity decks, which I anticipate to see a lot of during this weekend.
Yeah, which is really not any problem for you, because you're not really trying to kill them with actual damage, so them gaining the 4 life is non-consequential.
Yeah, it's very much not relevant if they gain 4 life if their Infect is at 10.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to run Wild Defiance, as I saw an increase in Jeskai Nahiri decks and an increase in certain Bolt-heavy removal decks. And against those decks, a Wild Defiance can just completely blow them out and allows me to take on a grindier game a lot faster.
So the thing I've noticed with a lot of blue-green Infect players, depending on who they are, is that you are not afraid to go to the lock game.
No. Although it can be a little risky, the deck has potential of winning patiently, as it has Pendelhavens and Noble Hierarchs that allow you to just win off Exalted triggers and Pendelhaven triggers.
Mm-hmm. And if worst case scenario, actual damage.
Yes, in worst case scenario, you can kill them with a Spellskite or with Noble Hierarch.
Right.
I decided to take one of Spell Pierce, as it stops a plentiful amount of removal spell. It stops some combo decks that come out of nowhere. And it can also stop Court of Calling and Collected Company, which are very good cards against me.
Yes. And you also have an additional Dispel in the side, specifically for these kind of matchups where they're going to be boarding in more removal for your Infect creatures.
Yeah.
And
it's a very efficient counter spell that stops pretty much every good instant speed spell, which is a variety in modern.
And you have a wall of roots.
I have a wall of roots in the sideboard that allows me to have a better matchup against Jund lists or any list that really runs Liliana, as it prevents them from ticking down quickly and taking out one of my Infect creatures, while I have another pseudo ramp spell that allows me to continue going off a little bit faster.
Yes. And and similar effect with what you mentioned with Liliana, you have a Dryad Arbor on the side.
Yes, the Dryad Arbor used to be a main board card. However, seeing what the meta was to be anticipated, Dryad Arbor was not going to see a lot of play against a lot of the Nahiri decks, as their removal was just lining up too well against it. So I decided to shift it to the sideboard in anticipation of any Liliana decks I could just side it in. It'd be a pretty fair matchup.
And you have an additional spell sky in the side. So how often did you see yourself bringing in the full package of 3 spell skies in your deck?
Pretty often. The Spell Sky essentially is another protection spell that can stay long term if it's a very burn heavy matchup, as it prevents a lot of damage. If I fetch out early breeding pools, I can just continuously tap blue mana instead from the pay to 2 life, so bolts could become entirely just negated with a Spell Sky.
Okay. And I see those 2 Twisted Image.
The Twisted Image also helped me against a variety of Spellskite decks, and they're just another cantrip that allows me to go deeper into my deck. It does also stop other mana dorks, such as Noble Tyrant and Birds of Paradise. If they go off to an early start, I can just Twisted Image them, and now I can come ahead because of those trades.
Yeah, those little guys can't handle that.
Yeah.
And you have 2 Relic of Progenitors, which I assume is for the company decks and potential dredge decks.
Yeah, the Relic is just to stop any kind of combo list that revolves around the graveyard. It does have good matchups against any of the company decks that'll try to go infinite combo with Persist, as it can stop it in response to the Persist trigger. It's also very good against decks that just require a full graveyard to kind of take me on any kind of close matchup with Snapcaster Mage. And it does stop Dredge. It stops Goriel's Vengeance, which is a fringe deck that I've seen here and there, and I didn't really see any of at GPLA, but it's very good against them.
It is a very good card. I'm seeing a lot of Relic Progenitors in the main board of a lot of decks, actually. Okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
This deck is awesome. I really liked the inclusions that you noted for the main and sideboard, trying to protect the real core of the deck as much as possible. So I'm glad you're here for us. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. See you next time.